Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. I'm Marissa.
And I'm Erica.
And I sound like shit.
You sound like you might die.
I might die. I'm going to the doctor after this. I've been sick for 8 days now.
Oh my gosh.
9 days now because
That's
I've been
wild.
sick since last Saturday.
Yeah.
I have a horrible cough. I have not had a voice. I have a really sore throat now. That's new.
That's rough.
I also didn't have any congestion until like Thursday.
Yeah.
And I have like really bad nasal congestion. And it's horrible and I don't know what's going on.
I listened back to episodes the other day. I don't remember what I was doing or why I was doing this, but I listened back to a long time ago when we went to Natalie's baby shower and I had the flu. And I was like, oh, I don't know if you guys can tell that I'm sick. I was like, yeah, you could tell I was sick.
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't know who I thought I was to tell you guys that when you could so hear it in my voice. It's just so funny. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what I have. I took a COVID test, like, I think it was Wednesday last week,
Yeah.
and it was negative. But who knows? I could have taken it too early,
Right.
and then I don't know. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's COVID. I don't know. I do have all the symptoms. My chest hurts so bad. I keep every day I wake up and I'm like, Kyle, did you replace my chest with glass? Like, what's wrong with you? Like who?
Please tell me you did this.
Why did you do that in my sleep? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll fix it tonight when we sleep. And I'm like,
Oh
no,
my
I need it
gosh.
now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, hoping for the best. Hoping
Yeah,
it's not
hopefully.
nothing crazy.
They're probably going to make
It's
me
just
do a
rough.
chest x-ray at the doctor.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a primary care doctor and I tried to make an appointment.
Oh.
But as you were recording this, it's Labor Day. So like nothing is open.
Yeah.
And so I'm
course.
just going to an urgent care. But last time we
Yeah.
went, we only had like a $50 copay and everything was included. So I think it'll be fine.
That's really good. My copay is more than that. Honestly, my copay for the
Really?
urgent care is $75. But I love my urgent care people. I have primary care now and I'm like, I like my urgent care people better because I just remember them and they're really nice.
Yeah.
And it's
The-
good.
We've been to this one a couple times when Kyle was really sick last time.
Yeah.
We took him there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna have an all Marissa episode today, even though Marissa is sick.
know.
We tried to push these episodes off a little bit, mostly because of me, but also we were like, okay, well, maybe Marissa will feel better. She didn't, and now we can't anymore. So we're here.
Yes. So bear with my horrible voice. Hopefully it doesn't like crap out by the end, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try my best not to cough, but if you hear any jump cuts, it's because I just
It's 'cause
hacked up a
Marissa
lung. Okay.
fine.
So I already did a little bit of ketchup. Before
Yeah.
we get like more into ketchup, what are you drinking?
Okay, I'm drinking my usual, you guys. I just have a Breve. This is my brown sugar honey mocha Breve iced. Boring.
I like it.
What do you have?
I have a fall drink and
Oh,
I have
of
my
course.
I have my Alani Witch's brew, but I have an empty can
Cute.
because I forgot to put it in the fridge last night and it's in my cup.
Oh, nice. Oh, that looks cute. Okay, I never seen it out of the can.
Yeah, it's like a caramely color.
Yeah, it
because
almost
it's a
looks like
caramel
apple
drink.
cider or like apple
Yeah.
juice. I guess
Yeah.
apple juice. Yeah, I really want some apple cider. I was thinking about this recently. That
I
should've
literally
picked up-
said it
picked
this
up some.
morning.
Yes,
I said it this morning.
I need some. Now that we're into September officially, as we're recording, I'm in fall now. I'm in fall. I had a very fall day yesterday, so it's very exciting. But anyways, okay. Do you want to do your ketchup? Finish your ketchup.
I guess. So the big thing is that
Yeah.
I'm so horribly sick and I don't know what's going on. When did we last record? I gotta find.
A long time ago.
It was a long time
I was
ago.
looking at our calendars just to pull some stuff together, and you guys, I have so much to tell you. It's crazy.
Well, I told Erica last time that we recorded that I was going to see It Ends With Us, but
Yeah.
I did see It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I would say it was like a 7 out of 10, which
Okay,
is
good
like
rating.
similar to what I like rated the book. I gave it like a 3 out of 5, I think.
Yeah.
So it was really good. I liked it. I didn't cry. I almost cried twice, but she didn't get me.
I cried so much. As far as the movie goes, did you like notice discrepancy? Well, there are discrepancies between the movie and the book. Did you notice them dramatically, and like how'd you feel about it? Or is there anything in particular that you're like, oh, that's not how it was in the book and I like it, or I don't like it?
I don't know. I think that they did pretty good. I know obviously like some things were taken out,
Yeah.
but I think they did a pretty good job.
I do too. The only thing that I noticed that I thought was like quite a big part of the book, which I'm sure you notice this too once I say it, is that they didn't do the like Ellen DeGeneres thing. So like she did watch the show Ellen on the movie for like a second with Atlas.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you haven't seen It Ends With Us movie and you're gonna watch It Ends With Us movie, spoilers ahead, please skip this portion. I will try not to spoil a lot, but like please skip this portion, okay? Anyways, so she watches Ellen DeGeneres for like a minute with Atlas in like in a flashback clip, and that was it. And they didn't make note of it, but like if you read the book, it's like if you know, you know. If we read the book, we know it's there. And then I don't know if you noticed this because Angelo didn't, and he did not read the book, but he listened to the book club episode, so he's like, I do feel like I have the background. I was like, okay. In the nursery, did you see the Finding Nemo plushie?
No.
There was like, it was like a Easter egg for us. I said I feel like Colleen Hoover did that for me, and Angela was like, she did. But I feel like she did it for the book readers. In the nursery at the end when they're putting together all the stuff, and Ryle's there, and why am I forgetting everyone's name? The main girl. Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Ryle and Lily were both there putting together the nursery and all that stuff. And on the right side of the screen, they had a really big like jumbo squishmallow of Finding Nemo. And I was like, okay, that is so for the readers. So I was a little sad that stuff wasn't there because it doesn't, I feel like it was a big connection to like the Just Keep Swimming. I wanted the Just Keep Swimming thing with Atlas to be there and like her middle name being Dory and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I liked it too. And I cried a lot. But I was telling Angela, I was like, I don't think I cried because it was like such a good movie and so powerful. I think it's just the message itself is meaningful to me. So I just was like sad. But it was really good. I liked it.
Speaking about like the like Ellen letters and stuff,
I
did see her writing one at one point. Like it just said like Dear Ellen, and then like it had a page, but they didn't talk about it. It was just like
they didn't bring it up
there.
Yeah, so I feel like they still planted some things that were like kind of for the book readers, which I was like, ooh, that's really cute. I like that they did that. I would have never noticed it just watching it without the book.
Yeah, and I know that one of the like things that's like obvious is that they changed the name of Atlas's restaurant. And in the book it's called Bibs for like Better in Boston. And that's like a big thing in the book. But in the movie it was called Roots.
Okay.
Which I think was weird, but I mean, I guess I get it.
I don't know. It was okay. How'd you feel about the casting? This is something else I want to bring up.
I think it was fine. I don't know. I feel like there's been like so much like drama happening.
There is drama
right now, and I'm like, I don't even want to know about it because I feel like it was fine.
I know. I don't care about the drama that much, but yeah, I was just curious about how the casting was going to play out because we talked about it before. Loved Atlas, first of all. He was like my picture perfect. I think Ryle was fine. Blake Lively was good. I liked her style. I think it fit her character and how they like made her, how they made her out to be. Like, I feel like it suited her. But I really was like not loving the best friend character at the beginning because I was like, this is not who I pictured. Like, I pictured a blonde, like really young girl. But by the end, I loved the best friend character. She was so funny.
I love that they made Hassan Minaj her husband too.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know who they had cast as him.
Yeah.
And when
he was so funny.
He is hilarious in general. I love like that actor, but it was so funny because I definitely saw him in the book as like a blonde hair white guy. Yeah. And in the movie, he's an Indian man, and I'm like, that is not what I pictured at all.
The wife too. I was like, I thought she was like blonde, like 22, like really young. I just didn't expect any of it, but I like how they made her like not older, but kind of older, like kind of bougie, and I just loved it, and I thought she was hilarious. Like everyone in the theater was laughing when she would like say a joke. I loved it.
I think overall her name is good. Jenny Slate, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know any of them well, but it was good.
Yeah,
I was a fan.
Well, Hassan Minaj is a comedian, and he's like turning into an actor now.
I need to see him apparently because I've never seen his stuff.
Yeah, I think he's really funny.
This girl Jenny Slate, I was seeing if she's in anything else, and she was in Zootopia and like the Lorax. She must be like a voice actress. Despicable Me. Yeah, so that's really cute. Anyways, really it was a good movie.
Okay, well, that's the whole thing about that.
Yeah.
So next is I've been doing softball. It's been going well. We finished the season with 8 wins and 8 losses. So pretty even.
Balance.
Yeah, pretty balanced. And then I went to a concert on Saturday night. And it was really fun. We went to see Avril Lavigne, Simple Plan, and then Girlfriends was the other opener. But Girlfriends didn't get to perform because it started raining and there was severe weather. So I think that there was like really bad lightning and stuff. And it was an outdoor concert, so they made us like go underneath like the pavilion.
Oh my gosh.
Until like the lightning stopped.
Yeah.
And then by the time that stopped, they had to cut the first opener.
Oh, that
sucks.
And then
Simple Plan came out, and me and Owen were sitting in the rain for the whole concert. We were soaking wet.
Jeez, that doesn't help being sick.
It wasn't the best experience, but it was still a really fun concert.
Yeah, you guys looked cute.
Thanks.
I loved the Instagram story. That was really cute.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun. We were just like chatting in the Uber on the way there. We didn't want to deal with parking because it was like a sold out concert, and we were really nervous that if like we drove there and parked, we were gonna like be there
forever. Yep.
So we just Ubered, even though it was like an hour-long Uber.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then yesterday, I had an engagement party for one of my friends, and it was really fun. We just played games outside. Like, her friends brought a couple of gifts. We had sandwiches, and like,
that's so fun.
We just had so much fun, and it was like a really low-key party, and it was outside, and it was really pretty.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of convo on social media just about all the parties and like gender reveal and all this stuff. And at first I wanted to hop on the bandwagon and be a hater. And then I was like, why am I being a hater? That's so fun. Like, why not have more parties? Like, an engagement party? That's so cute. It was really
fun. And like, normally I feel like engagement parties are like just for the girls, but we invited like everybody. Yeah. And they had people come from out of state, and it was really fun to just like, it was like their family reunion, like their little like friend family reunion.
That's really cute. I love it.
Yeah, and then yesterday me and Kyle were supposed to go out to dinner for like a celebratory little thing. Yeah. And I'm not going to say for what yet because I don't know if I can. Yeah. But Erica knows. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
And me and Kyle were supposed to go out for like our celebratory dinner last night. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't because I'm sick. And I said, can I take a rain check? And he said, yeah.
Where are you guys going to go? Do you have a plan?
He wants to take me to a place called Tacos and Tequila.
I was going to ask if it was going to be margaritas. I just knew. Yeah. That's so fun. I love it.
But I don't want to have like a margarita because I feel like sick and like, I don't know.
You got to be at your best to enjoy a really good margarita.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
But that's all of my things, I swear.
Okay. I have a lot of things, you guys. So It Ends With Us was one of my first things as well. And then since the last time we talked, I went to Minnesota, so that's just crazy. But if you are listening to this at this point, you can check out my YouTube channel and my Instagrams. I know I always say that, but that's where you'll find all the content from Minnesota. It was a really fun trip. 5 days. It was honestly kind of like 5 days is a lot. I don't know. I just kept thinking like, oh, we're going for the weekend. But it was really a long time. Did lots of exploring, and we went to a wedding for a family, and then we came home. We went to the Mall of America. That was like a random like impromptu decision because on the last day we were supposed to hang out with family, and then they got busy, plans changed, and they were like, we're really, really, really sorry, but we have other stuff to do today. And we're like, it's fine. So we just drove an hour back to the airport, and the Mall of America is like 8 minutes from the Minneapolis airport. They're like next to each other. Yeah. So we're like, we have to go. And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's huge, right?
It was huge. There was a water park. There was like amusement park rides inside the middle of the mall, like the central hub. Marissa's face is so funny right now. She was like jaw on the floor.
Insane.
The central like part of the mall, you know, like how the middle of the mall is usually like the food court. Yeah. No, this was like amusement park rides. Like I put it on my vlog if you guys are listening and like what,
I have to watch this.
It had like the big swing thing. Like if you're familiar with Cedar Point rides, right? It's like the Max Air, like the one with the big arm. They have that in the mall, and it's just swinging around. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. So we went to eat at the Rainforest Cafe in there because Angela's family's never eaten there, and that was really fun. So yeah, that's a wrap on Minnesota. It was really, really
That's
fun.
really funny. Okay, I actually have to say this now because I forgot. I was looking back at some of the Instagram posts that we had for an episode that like just came out last week. Yeah. And I was talking about all my upcoming trips. I'm not going to Denver. I'm going to Tampa.
Yeah. I knew that, but I still posted it because that's on that episode you said Denver, then the next episode you said Tampa, which is so funny. So I was like, we're going to switch on the next one.
I didn't know if I ever corrected myself because we changed plans, but I'm just making sure.
That's so funny. Yes, you did.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she's going to Florida, guys. So fun. Yay. Soon, kind of, right?
Yeah, next
it's coming
week.
Up. Yay! Oh my god! I hope you get better faster. Oh my god! I didn't realize that.
No, it's really annoying because I get sick every time I travel too. So I'm probably gonna be sick until like November.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Okay. Minnesota. Yeah. Fun.
Yes.
The next thing we did, which was really fun, was we had a Dave and Buster's send-off party for Dominic because he left for college and he went to Arizona. He's so far away. Yay. I can't believe it. But we all went to Dave and Buster's and just played games all night. And then Angela and I have been saving up our tickets for a while because we just go sometimes. It's fun, but we don't spend the tickets because sometimes it's just like there's nothing good. But this time we spent our tickets and I got the cutest animal ever. They had stuffed animals in there. And I usually am not a stuffed animals girl that much, but they had this big otter and I named her Mocha Breve. And she's God. Cute. And like, actually, it's the softest animal ever. I was like, this is high quality for a Dave & Buster's prize. I didn't even have to use all my tickets to get it. And then Dominic also got a stuffed animal thing. It's a pack of ramen. And it's so cute, like a pack of instant ramen, like Pillow. We were like, you have to take that to college. It's such a good conversation starter. So yeah, we went to Dave & Buster's, and that was super, super fun. Loved. What else? We had so many things happen. I wrote Operation Office Overhaul. That's what I kept calling this. But Angela and I finally cleaned our office from 2 years ago when we moved in. Good. Angela just had a lot of stuff, just like a lot of stuff in boxes, like next to his desk that we never cleaned up because it is like, you know, when you look at something and you're like, it's just too overwhelming. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It lasted for 2 years, and there's still some places in our house that could use some work, like the closets and stuff. But we just picked a Saturday and we did it together and we got it done. And now the office feels 10 times bigger. I'm like, wait, wow. I think I can work at my desk again, because I've been working at the computer table or the computer.
The dinner table?
Yeah, I've been working
It is now the computer
table. I've been working at our dining room like table for months, and that's mostly because when I was in here, literally it would stress me out. Like the actual physical mess it'd stress me out. So we cleaned it up, and now I'm like, okay, maybe I can work at my desk more. Like, I'm easing back in. So that's good. We had a send-off brunch for Dominic. So cute. Dave & Buster's was on a Wednesday, and then we ended up on the Sunday that he left. Before he flew out, we all went and got brunch at First Watch. Aww. It was so cute.
Love First Watch.
I know. We hadn't been in so long. I was like, I miss First Watch. It's so good.
The First Watch that was just built near us, they sell alcohol.
Yeah, ours does.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Maybe I was like, I don't know. I discovered First Watch at like 16, so maybe I was just too young to understand. But like,
yeah, they have like
they had
Bloody
mimosas,
Marys and mimosas.
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah. I know they're bougie. Yeah, bougie. I know that because one time a server spilled a Bloody Mary on my white outfit. And I was triggered. But yeah, I love First Watch. It's delicious. I did have like a rancid egg, so that was kind of a downfall, but it was okay. Which kind of brings me to one of my other updates that I did not write down.
Oh no.
Actually, yeah, okay. Have I talked about my sense of smell on this podcast? Okay.
I think.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was tasting the egg right because I can't smell. And so I was like, I don't know how my taste has been affected. So I asked Angela to taste it, but Angela doesn't like runny eggs. And he was like, I really don't want to eat it. Like, that kind of grossed me out. And I was like, Grace, will you just eat my egg? And she was like, yes. So she dipped something in my egg and she was like, yeah, that is a bad egg. It tasted like chemically. Anyways, that's not a testament to First Watch. First Watch is good, blah, 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 whatever. I'm on a rant now that I don't need to be on. We had our first virtual family game night. So this was fun. Marissa joined us and we put like out a Zoom link to all of our family and said anyone can join. Dominic joined from Arizona. Marissa joined from Washington, D.C. / Virginia. And then there was a bunch of us here in Ohio. And that was really cute.
I was really confused when I first joined because I didn't realize everybody came to your house.
And
I was like, only Dominic and
people?
Erica are here. Yeah. I was like, what is wrong with everybody?
I know. I was like just thinking we were going to do it virtually. And then the night before, Julie was like, so do you want to go to my house or your house? And I was like, you can come here. She's like, okay, I'll buy dinner. And I was like, okay, that works. Like, I just didn't even think about it. So next time though, I'm thinking about doing different kind of games that none of us have ever played, like an actual game that we need our computers for. So we'll see. But it's fun.
It was.
Okay. Yesterday was Gilmore Girls Day. I had the biggest Gilmore Girls Day party, and I say biggest, not biggest, like it wasn't crazy, but I'll send you some live pictures as I'm talking about it so you can see. But I hosted a Gilmore's. I can't speak, you guys. Yeah,
I can't.
Marissa has no voice, and I just can't like grammatically speak. I can't speak in like a way that makes sense. So sorry, guys, you're gonna have to suffer today through us. Okay, I'm sending you some pictures. So I hosted a Gilmore Girls party because every year on September 1st I start the rewatch of the series. So I just started on episode 1, season 1. And this year, I decided to have like a little party with it. So I stayed like all morning. I spent painting this sign. This is Angelo's idea. But there's a place in the coffee. Why? There's a place in the show that's a coffee shop called Luke's, and the character Luke owns a coffee shop. It's a really big part of the show if y'all have never seen it. So I painted this Luke sign.
You did so good.
Thank you. I didn't even I traced the outline, but the letters I freehanded. And so,
good.
I'm obsessed. I said I'm leaving it on our front door forever. And I did take a picture without our house number, so I can post it for you guys. But I painted a little Luke's coffee sign, and then I made a bunch of treats. So I sent Marissa yesterday. I made, of course, the shape cookies, holiday shape cookies. cookies.
I feel like I need to go and get them today. That'll make me not feel sick.
They're usually so sold out. Like every year, I feel like they're gone, but there were so many because it was early. I made homemade Pop-Tarts from like homemade. I've never done that before. They were so freaking good, but also Pop-Tarts are a part of the show. So if you know, you know. So that's why I made that. And then I did popcorn. I did my famous little sweet and salty snack mix with dark chocolate covered stuff in it, and then wine. So that was the spread. And then the activities included, we watched 3 episodes of Gilmore Girls, just like season 1, episode 1, 2, 3. And then we made DIY candles. And this was like the funnest part. I was obsessed. Everything turned out so cute, but everyone got like a little candle container. We all put Gilmore Girls stickers on it and like glued stuff to it, put beads on them. And then we all got to make our own candle, like custom scent, custom color. You could mix the colors, whatever. Of course, not Marissa, Amelia got really creative and she like mixed a couple colors and made like a really deep red burgundy one. I was like, that's a perfect fall candle scent. The rest of us just like used one color and it came out kind of not what we expected. But it turned out so cute. So, yeah, that was our Gilmore Girls party.
Aw. I'm looking at the photo, and I see red wine. Do you like red wine?
No.
I was going to say.
Funny. You know me too well. My Moscato was in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
This is what we bought for everybody else because everybody else likes dry red. So, Lauren didn't make it because she had to work. But Lauren, Grace, and Angelo like the red. And then I like the white. So I just had my own in the fridge.
Aw.
Yeah. So that was the Gilmore Girls Day party. Really fun. I think I'm going to make it a tradition and do it every year with everybody because it was just cute.
It was so cute.
Okay. I have 2 more.
That's okay.
These are good though because these are conversational. So first of all, I want to talk about 2 new albums that I've been listening to nonstop and I want to ask you about it. Okay. Sabrina album and the Post album. Have you listened to the Post album? How do you feel? I need to know.
I've listened. I like his solo songs and I like the song with Jelly Roll.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of it because it's like all country. Yeah.
It's so country. I was shocked when I listened.
It's very country. Like I think that some of like the songs that are like by himself I feel like are a little less country and I think that's why I said I like those more. And then I like the Jelly Roll song because I like Jelly Roll.
I love Jelly Roll. I haven't made it through the whole album, not gonna lie. I haven't heard the Jelly Roll and I haven't heard the Hardy. I've heard the Hardy one on Instagram, but I need to like listen. But I've heard there's one with Tim McGraw I really liked. There's a song called The Bad Ones. I really like that one. But I was just shocked at how country it was. I was like, I need to know how Marissa feels because this is a country album, like through and through.
It's okay. It's definitely not my favorite. Yeah. But he has so much other discography.
He does. I said, I really want to see a country concert of him. I would die. Because
I'm going.
He really has a good voice of it. Like
I'm going to the one in Virginia Beach. You can go with me.
Oh my God. Wait, when is it?
October 4th.
That's so fun. Is it going to be his new album? Like, is he on a tour for his new album or oh wow, I didn't know that he was already wow, he's quick.
3rd concert in 3 years that I'm going to of his.
Oh my God. And okay, and then the new Sabrina album, have you listened to this at all? I know you're not like super a Sabrina girl, I feel like, but really good. I feel like there's something that you would really like. She has, I don't know, just a wide range. Like to me, some of it sounds, there's like one song that I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like Ariana Grande. And then there's another song I'm like, that kind of sounds like Casey Musgraves. And then there's another song I'm like, okay, this is fully Sabrina. I don't know. It has a lot of different vibes, but this is my 3rd Sabrina concert, not in 3 years, but my 3rd Sabrina concert ever. And I'm going this month, I guess, already. So that'll be exciting. Yay. And that's my last update. So many new musics that I was like, I can't stop listening to these albums. They're so good.
Yay. Okay. Yeah. Are we ready to jump into the world of forensic science?
We're ready. Yes. I forgot that's what we're doing, you guys. We have a fun episode today.
So this episode comes out September 16th-ish, something like that.
Yeah, September 18th.
18th. Okay. I knew that was around the week of National Forensic Science Week. So that comes out the Wednesday of National Forensic Science Week. And if you know about me, you know I'm a forensic scientist.
Yes.
So Erica did her little like marketing 101. So I'm going to do forensic science 101.
I'm excited.
So for my sources, I actually used a textbook.
Wow.
And it's my old textbook for my intro to forensic science class. And I have it here.
Oh my gosh, she has it. You have to take a picture so we can post it.
It's called Criminalistics, An Introduction to Forensic Science. And it's by Richard Saferstein. And it's honestly, I would like read it because like I don't know,
my
I'm just like a
gosh.
nerd, but like I think it's really good. It has like a bunch of different chapters about all the different sections of forensic science, but I am going to be basically talking about just forensic biology because that's my specialty.
Okay. Those words scare me. Forensic and
It's
biology. I'm like, sounds very sciencey.
It's
I'm
okay.
scared.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Let me take a breath so I can breathe.
Yeah,
Okay.
take a breath.
So I put a definition of forensic science here, and this is from the book. It's the application of science to the criminal and civil laws that are enforced by police agencies in a criminal justice system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So basically talking about how the laws and how the like criminal justice system work together. And that's forensic science.
Okay.
There are 11 sections.
Wow.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And there's honestly like even more subsections in each of these sections. But I'm just going to tell you like the 11 sections that it lays out in the book. So there are criminalistics, digital and multimedia sciences, engineering science, general forensic science, jurisprudence, which is the theory or philosophy of law, odontology, which is like teeth, pathology and biology, that's what we're going to be mostly talking about, physical anthropology, that's bugs, so that's a really gross class that I had to take. It was a gross section in one of my classes, and it talks about like which bugs come to decomposing bodies at what time.
Wow.
And you have to learn about like the life cycle of those bugs so that you know how long the body has been there.
Yeah. Ooh.
Psychiatry and behavioral science, that's like what you see in Criminal Minds, like the behavioral analysis unit. Questioned documents, so this is like handwriting analysis and also like reading into like the meaning of the words, like so if you're looking at ransom letters, like trying to like pull out like, the I don't know, like the secret like words and stuff in those, and then toxicology, which is drugs.
Yeah, so when you say odontology, or however you pronounce that, is there just like one person that's just like the teeth person, and they come in and they look at the teeth and like that's their whole job? Oh my gosh. So that's wild.
Typically it's somebody that like went through dentistry school.
Yeah.
And then they went into forensic odontology. So they look at like bite mark analysis. So you can look at like the skin and compare it to the teeth of the person that might have bit the skin. Yeah. And you can match those up based off of like this is something that you learn in like forensic. You like hear the word in general too, like minutia, like the really like fine details. You have to match all the minutia of the teeth to those bite marks.
That's wild. I can't imagine that being someone's whole job.
Yeah, or if you just like find teeth, you can go like, against dental records. Like you hear that often, like people find teeth. And
that's
like,
more what I was thinking about. Records. Yeah, like just loose teeth, like rope teeth.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Any other questions?
No, that all makes sense. I can't believe how many different like specialties there are though, like really focused.
Yeah, and like I said, each of these has like their own subsections as well. Right. So there's plenty more.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about is literally what you learn on your first day of forensic science class.
Wow.
And it's called Locard's exchange principle. Okay. So this is a principle that was made by this guy, Locard. It's his last name. And it is everything that you come in contact with will leave a trace on you and you will leave a trace on it.
Mic drop. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And that is literally the entirety of what makes my job possible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was the one that was like, I think he's called like the father of forensic science because of this. And it's because he realized that if you touch something, you're taking a little bit of that thing with you and you're leaving a little bit of yourself with that thing.
Yeah. I feel like Angela's explained that concept to me before because it hurts my brain. Even the simplest things hurt my brain. Yeah. But didn't know it was called that and didn't know that's where it came from. So that's really cool.
Yeah. I don't remember his name, like his first name. I just know Locard's exchange principle. It's the first thing. It's like slide 1, intro to forensic science in college. That is the first thing you learn.
Remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, that is what makes my job possible. Yeah. So before we go into the next part of like what is DNA, that's the next part that makes my job possible. I'll talk a little bit more about like his exchange principle. Yeah. So we have skin on our whole bodies. It's covering our entire body. Every time you touch something, a little bit of your skin cells come off. And you know this because like you shed skin,
right.
like you have dry skin, whatever. You see it happening.
Sunburn, whatever.
Yeah, you have dandruff, you have sunburn, whatever. So every time you touch something, a little bit of you goes and gets left behind. Every bit of your body, your spit, your snot, your hair, your skin, it has your DNA in it. So all that DNA in every part of your body. So your hair, your eyelashes, your snot, like I said, all of that has the same DNA. Every part of you has the same DNA.
That's so crazy.
that's why it's important for us to like use the DNA, because no matter what part of your body gets left, it's always going to go back to you. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I have a question. I don't know if you're going to go into it because I didn't read your thing, because I don't want to be whatever.
Yeah.
But are you going to explain your job a little bit later in this, or would you want to explain it a little bit now for people that don't know? Because I feel like people could just stumble on this episode and maybe they'll be curious.
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit now because I feel like it makes the most sense here. I do talk about it a little bit at the actually, I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I lied. I do have a section about it.
Stay tuned if you guys want to know, because I feel like if anyone's new and you're like, okay, what's Marissa's credential? Like, what's she even do?
Yeah.
It's coming. Just wait.
It is coming. I promise. I was looking. It's like a couple sections down, but it is there.
Cool. Okay, cool. No, that all makes sense. I'm excited.
Yeah. So now we're going to go into what is DNA. Okay. So DNA is an acronym. It stands for deoxyribonucleic acid.
I didn't even know that.
Really?
I mean, I could have assumed, but I didn't know what it meant.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So it's just a long fancy word that means the blueprint of you. It's the things that make up who you are.
Yeah.
So we've all seen the classic photo of the double helix of DNA. It looks like a curved ladder.
If you've never seen it, you guys, and you're listening to our podcast right now, it's on our cover art. So look at our cover art and find in the little background. You know, we have all those little shapes. You'll find it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So those little rungs in the ladder, those are called nucleotides. Okay. So you don't need to know what a nucleotide is necessarily. You just need to know that it is what makes up the rungs in the ladder. And those are repeating units, and they have different letter codes associated with them. Okay. So there's A, which stands for adenine, T stands for thymine, C stands for cytosine, and G stands for guanine. And these have complementary base pairs. So these are called nucleotide bases, and they have certain ones that they like fit into with like puzzle pieces. So it's like the complementary base pairs are A and T, and C and G. Okay. And so A has a certain little puzzle piece that only fits with T, and same with C and G.
Are there ever, and this might be beyond what, I don't know, but are there ever cases where there's like a mutant situation or something where two are together wrongly and like it makes a big effect on something?
Yeah, but I don't know anything about that.
Okay, that's just something interesting, because when you were saying the 4 letters, I was like, my next question was going to be, aren't they like kind of half and half? And then you answered my question and I was like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that is just the most general overview of what DNA is.
Okay. I'm glad this is general, because it's so funny. When I was going through marketing, I would say like, this feels so silly to me. Like, I feel like everybody knows this. You're like, no, I don't know. And I feel like that in this one. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know any of this.
Yeah. And I hope I'm doing a good job explaining this. It's a part of my job that I have to be able to explain it to a layperson.
Okay, yeah.
But it's really hard because I've never had to practice that since school. So
you get practice today.
I was trying my best to like write this out and make sure it made sense, but I can't even talk about it with Kyle because he understands it.
He knows. Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't talk to him about it because he knows all the things I'm saying.
That's true.
So now we're going to go a little deeper, but I tried my best to keep this as general as possible. So for DNA typing and forensics, there are things in our DNA called short tandem repeats. Okay. So short, that means small amount. Tandem, it means they are in consequential order, they go next to each other. And then repeats, they're obviously repeated.
Okay.
And it is a region of DNA that contains short segments consisting of 3 to 7 repeating base pairs. Okay. So this is the A, T,
things you
C,
just told
and
us
G
about
that I was talking about.
Okay.
So an example, I don't know if this is a real one, but it could be like AAG, AAG, and it does that for a certain amount of repeats. Okay. It could be any amount, but it is those 3 base pairs repeating back and right next to each other. So it's AAG, AAG, AAG.
Okay.
And then it goes on to a different sequence of DNA. So the number of repeats at a location, so the number of the amount of times that AAG repeats is what forensic biologists are looking at in your DNA. They're not looking at everything because if you've heard of this before, 99% of our DNA from person to person is the same.
That's
the
crazy.
STRs is or the short tandem repeats, the STRs, that is the only place that we differ.
Whoa, mind
people.
blown. That's crazy.
And
that is
locations.
Crazy.
So some of the words that I'm going to be like interchangeably saying is STR means short tandem repeat, and the location is referred to as a loci, LOCI. So if I say those, that's what that means.
Okay.
So there are 13 STRs used by the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS. Everybody's kind of heard of that.
Yeah.
Which is the National DNA Database. And because of the unique number of repeats at each loci, the likelihood that a person has the same number of STRs at each loci is what makes us unique.
That's
really
crazy.
That's really hard to say, so I'll kind of break it down again.
Yes. Please.
So there's 13 places, 13 different STRs. They have like these crazy little names, but they have like their like codes that you look at.
Yeah.
And there are 13 in CODIS that they look at the unique number of repeats that each person has, and the likelihood that somebody has the same amount of repeats at all 13 locations is like minute,
very, very rare.
And that's what makes us unique.
Okay, that makes sense. And the CODIS system, I mean, if you've listened to any true crime episodes, then you know what this is. But is it, as I understand it, you're only in that once you, like, not everybody's just in that when you're born,
Correct.
Right? You're only in it once you have to get tested for whatever.
So there's different rules state by state. There's different laws on who can be put into CODIS. There is like people right now lobbying to get every felon to have to be put into CODIS.
Yeah.
So if you get committed of a felony, then you have to be put into CODIS.
Yeah.
There are a lot of states right now that is already the rule.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
Okay.
So sometimes even felons aren't put into CODIS.
Okay. Interesting.
And this is a little like sneak peek into my job.
Yeah.
We cannot run our matches against CODIS because we are a private company.
That's what I wondered. Okay.
Only government agencies have the ability to access CODIS.
That almost sucks a little bit.
Yeah, but that's where our working back and forth helps, because we send the profiles to the agencies and then they run it against CODIS to see if they get a match.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that is like DNA and why DNA is helpful in forensics.
I have to say applaud to you because I understand everything so far, and that's a lot, because it just usually is hard.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
good.
I went to school for 4 years for this.
Yeah.
It's a really hard thing to understand.
Yeah. No, the simplifiedness is perfect.
Good. Okay, now we're going to go into the DNA analysis process.
Ooh,
so if anybody ever goes to like, if you've ever seen like court TV, or if you've ever like been like, if you're in forensics and you're listening to this and you've ever been to court, this is what you go and this is what you talk about and this is what you explain to the jury, the lay people, and try and get them to understand. So the first thing is collection. We have to get the sample, or we have to get the item of evidence so that we can find whoever did the crime. So collection of DNA is things that are probative to collect. So this would be like a body swab from a sexual assault. So getting a swab from the area of assault or any other points of contact. It could be swabs of a point of entry for a break-in, or it could be the t-shirt that the victim was wearing when they were shoved by the suspect. So you're looking for the DNA on, like, for the touch DNA that was on that shirt. We also have reference samples. So this is something that we know is from the victim or the suspect or somebody else that might have been related in the crime. So we can take that DNA and get it out of the profile, so it's easier to see what's left over.
Oh, that makes sense.
So next, this is the part that's talking about what I do. So I do sampling. So the collection is done by crime scene investigators, detectives, people that are on the scene. And then in my case, it gets sent to the like crime lab. And then if they don't have the resources, they send it to me. And I, like, because we work for a private company and they send it to us. So I do the sampling of these items. So if I get a swab, I'm going to remove a portion of that swab and put it in a tube, and then it'll go to the later sections that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So basically sampling is just removing a portion of the item that was collected and placing it in a tube. And this would depend based off of what type of item it is.
Okay.
So,
and
like I said, you go.
Do you remove it? Do you remove a portion because you can't just like stick a whole t-shirt in a tube? Or is it also so that you can have more to do more different testing on?
Both.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we have something called standard operating procedures, and it tells us what the like best way to do things is. Yeah. So typically if we have swabs, we want to take 1 swab's worth. So sometimes we'll get 5 swabs, and we'll need to cut a fifth of each swab. And that means that we have enough to go back to. But if we only receive 1 swab, it's best practice to take the whole swab.
Okay, that's interesting. Also, what's really funny is I'm writing some marketing SOPs right now for my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy that you have SOPs.
I know. Yeah. We're doing some SOPs so that we can continue like the 4-day work week idea. And so that if someone else has to step into your position for a day and figure out something that you do, they can just go through the steps and do it. And it's all there. Like they don't need to call you or whatever. Yeah. So that's funny.
I wish I could read my SOP to you because it's like all in layperson stuff, but it is company confidential, so I can't.
I know, it's sad. But okay, so you're not cutting a swab in half. Like there are many, and then you're taking some.
It depends. So I could get 2 swabs and then I cut it in half. Okay. But I could get like 6 swabs and I would cut a sixth of each.
Okay.
But there's other things other than swabs that we get. So I was talking about a t-shirt. So if somebody pushes a t-shirt and like the person wearing the t-shirt, then we want to be able to get the top layer of that t-shirt. So we don't do that by cutting it. Okay. For me, we do it by scraping it. We take a scalpel and we scrape it to collect that top layer of scrapings and fabric. And that's really helpful with things like semen stains because we have like...
Gross.
Yeah, it is really gross. But like, I mean, we've all seen like semen look like tadpoles. Like we all know like the biology picture of that. Yeah. So those like little organisms are really good at getting embedded in fabric because they have a little tail. So instead of just cutting the fabric, we do cut the fabric sometimes, but we also scrape it to get them out of that top layer of the woven fabric.
That's crazy. Dang.
So we've talked about cutting swabs. We also cut from fabric. We scrape from fabric. And then we also have different things called adhesive lifts. Okay. So we have
I feel like we've seen this in the shows at
Really?
times. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I've seen this like on a cop show. It's like they put a little piece of tape or something and like go like that. Or they dust it.
Yeah, that's fingerprinting.
Fingerprinting,
yeah. But we have tape lifts and Post-it lifts. So like a standard sticky note and a standard roll of Scotch tape.
A sticky note? That's crazy.
We use those to collect evidence from like delicate items. Yeah. So if there's like a lace top, I'm not going to cut from that because it's probably going to ruin the item.
Fall apart,
and I want to try my best to keep the item preserved so that I can go back to it later. So instead, I'll take a piece of Scotch tape and I'll stick it to the item and I'll just stick it all over the item to pick up anything that I can.
That's crazy.
And
just
then
Scotch tape.
Yeah, and then same thing with sticky notes, but those are for like even like more delicate things, so like tissues. So if I'm trying to find who used like a tissue to wipe their face, I would take the Post-it note and I would just stick it to it and lift it up and get the top layer off.
I can't believe it's really a real sticky note. That's wild. I figured that was just like a term. Like I didn't know that's really what it is. Wow, that's really cool.
And then all of the things that I just talked about, that like removing a little bit, it creates something called a substrate. Okay. So substrate is just like a word for like material, but that's what we refer to it as after it's been removed from the item of evidence. It's now a substrate. Okay. Wow. So once we have that substrate, we do extraction on it. So we use a series of chemicals and we put them all over the substrate and it gets the DNA out of the substrate.
That's wild. Okay.
So basically it just pulls all the DNA out. Kind of like it's like the opposite of like if you put a sponge in water, it soaks up the DNA. It's doing the opposite. It's getting the DNA out of the substrate. Okay. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just really crazy to me because it's really hard to imagine. It's like you can't necessarily see that. That's just really weird to conceptualize in your head.
Yeah. And to give to give an even more like conceptual like number to it. So we all know the term grams. Grams is like a unit of measurement. And there's like micrograms and like things that are smaller.
Like even smaller, yeah.
And in forensics, we are looking at measures of DNA that are nanograms.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Which is a gram to the minus ninth power.
Oh my
gosh. So it's like 9 zeros in front of the 1 gram.
Wow, that is wild. That's
so
really
we don't need that much DNA. We just need a little bit.
Yeah, honestly. It really makes you think about how much shit you touch in a day, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm everywhere.
Yes, you're literally everywhere.
I couldn't escape anything. My house covered.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So next is amplification. So using something called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, it's a technique for replicating or copying a portion of a DNA strand outside of the living cell. So this is that DNA that is like on the substrate, and it can lead to millions of copies of the DNA strand.
That's crazy.
So for forensics, we're targeting those STR sections that I mentioned earlier to make them bigger. It's like you take a magnifying glass to look at that STR portion, so that AAG I was talking about, and make it huge so that you can like see it really good. So for example, on a swab, if we only have 3 cells that have STRs on them, we need to make it like we have 1 million of those cells on that swab so that we can see it better.
Yeah.
So we do that using PCR, like I was saying, and that's just basically a step of, it's more chemicals, and it's like a series of steps of like making the DNA hotter and colder.
That's crazy.
To make it bigger.
So you're really duplicating it, right? It's not like you're going into a computer software that a computer software could like replicate it on a screen for you. You're like actually making more. That is really, really weird to think about.
And this is where that complementary base pairs come in. So we take the DNA, we make it hot, so it splits in 2. And so that 1 base pair is on this side and 1 base pair is on this side. And then using the heating and cooling steps, it just adds more and more and more and more.
Oh my God. That is so weird. That is so weird.
It is crazy.
Whoa. Okay.
So the next step after amplification is quantification. Okay. So if you think about quantitative versus qualitative, quantification is getting a number to what you've done. So after we've done the amplification, we need to know how much DNA we've made.
You just made, okay.
Yeah. So we do it after amplification. It's the process of putting a number to how much DNA we have. And this will tell us the size of our sample now.
So my brain is like working. Okay, so the DNA that you created acts the same as the original DNA that came from. So like if that got into the wrong hands, it could be bad, right? Like that's really crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just really weird to think that that's possible. I did not know that was possible.
Yeah, that's why we have to like
that's like
take
really
ethics
serious
classes and everything.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It could
like
be really scary.
Be very ethical. There's this is like a complete tangent, but there's something called dry labbing. Yeah. And it's where you just don't do the work at all. And you just say, hey, I think that this answer is obvious. And I'm going to say that it's obvious. And I'm not going to do the work to prove it.
Whoa. That's wild.
And that's a big no-no.
Yeah. That's really scary. Yeah. Oh my God. I just can't imagine that you can just make DNA. You can just make it.
Yep.
What? It hurts my brain. Okay. That's so crazy.
The next thing, it's a really big word. And I know it's going to sound scary, but I'm going to break it down. The next section and the last section before analysis is capillary electrophoresis. Okay. So it's a big word. We're just going to call it CE because that's what we call it at work. Okay. And so for this, you need to imagine a big spiral. So a very big, skinny spiral. Okay. And the STRs that we've made, that we have, are going to shoot through this spiral like a coil. Okay. The coil is coated in gel, so it's easier for it to like move through. It's like a slip and slide, basically.
It's like a physical thing. Okay.
Yes. And the DNA goes through that, and as it comes out the end of the spiral, it makes a peak on a graph. So it like shoots out, and whatever the like speed of that is going to make a peak on the graph. Okay. And that's going to tell us what piece of DNA it is based off of the size.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's how we get like the actual number of what your like STR
How does it do that? Is it like each different kind has like a different density or something, and so it has different physics?
Yeah, it's about density, but DNA is negatively charged.
Okay.
So we put a magnet at the bottom and it comes towards
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
And as it goes through, it's going to, like, the larger fragments are going to take longer and the smaller fragments are going to take like a shorter amount of time.
Okay.
And as those pieces of DNA pass through the spiral, it causes a peak to show up on a graph. And those peaks are I can't read. These peaks are the allele calls for a DNA profile. I'm going to get into what an allele is.
Yeah. Okay.
So an allele is an alternative form of a gene. So that is what these STRs are. They give us alleles. So we all have genes, but the allele that we have is what makes us unique. So it's kind of like how many different repeats of the STR you have. Does that make sense?
Kind of. Maybe. So, I think keep going. Maybe it'll start to come together a little bit more.
So the STR, it repeats a certain amount of times. That certain amount of times that you have is unique.
Okay.
So that gives you the alternative form of the gene, which is the allele. And once we know what allele that is.
Okay. So it's just a name for it, basically.
Yes, that's what makes you unique. And then we use those alleles to determine if the DNA belongs to the suspect or the victim. So we use that reference sample. We do all the same things to the reference samples to get the answer. It's like our, what is it called? Like our key.
Okay.
And so we use that to like compare and contrast against.
So CE, this process, I'm just curious about this. Is this a machine or is this like a person doing this?
It's a machine.
Okay. So it kind of like you put the stuff in and it runs itself.
Yes.
And you can't really see it, right? Like you can't see what's going on, but you just know what it spits out. Like you just know the answer it gives you. Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And we use something like that fluoresces. So we like put something in there that it's called like a fluorescent tag. So it glows a little. So it like glows when it
That's crazy.
Pops off. And then that glow is like what it measures as the peak.
Oh, cool. Oh my God. That's crazy. Okay.
It is really cool. So how do we figure out if it's a match?
Oh my gosh.
As forensic scientists, we are finding DNA matches and we are looking to see if we can include, disclude, or inconclusively say that the profile could be had by the person of interest. Okay. So we don't use the word match because it's not a good word because people are like, well, if it matches, then like why are these things different? Yeah. And you're not looking at the whole DNA, so you don't know if it matches. But we can say that we can include them as a suspect or a victim, or we can disclude them, or it's inconclusive. We don't know.
Right.
And we do that by a lot of stats. And I'm not going to get into the stats because it's a lot of math. And I had to do a whole class on just the math.
Math's the worst.
But that's
is crazy.
Forensic biology in a nutshell.
I love it. I was just going to say, like, this is a huge kudos to you because I also thought science was lit. And this made me think science was cool. Oh, this is very cool. Like, I don't know. It's just the first time I've gone through like a little science lesson that I understand what's going on. Yeah. So it's really cool.
If any other forensic scientists are listening to this, please don't tell me if I bastardized any of it. I tried my best.
She does her job, guys, and she does well. So
I tried.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's so exciting. So, oh my gosh, I'm just like overwhelmed at like, you can just make DNA.
Make DNA.
I mean, that's just wild.
We're not making new DNA. We're just
You're duplicating.
Making the DNA we have bigger.
Yeah, that's really wild. I just didn't know that was like a process. One time Angelo was in the hospital. This is a tangent, but he was trying to say my capillaries, but he was like drugged up in the hospital, just laying there, and he kept saying my caliparies, and it was just now it's a family joke. He's always like my caliparies. So he's like, I think what he was saying was, I think I can feel my capillaries. He was so crazy. He's like, I think I can feel my caliparies, and then he's like, why is everyone laughing?
You were just crazy. A little wrong, Angelo.
Just a little. You're so close. Literally so close. I am like, wow, we are professional podcasters because you brought us right to time, like perfectly.
Yay.
We love that. Well,
I didn't even try.
National Forensic Science Week.
Yay.
That's so exciting. If you guys are listening and you have like no knowledge of forensic science, like I hope you loved it as much as me.
I hope that you understood what I was saying at least a little bit.
Me too. I hope I was like to the level of non-understanding as you all listening and we were with this together, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I had pretty much no understanding before. So that's really good. Even DNA. I'm like, wow, I learned so much about DNA today.
Yeah.
So wild. Anyways, I love it.
Yay. That's all I have for you.
Okay. Your voice lasted pretty well. I'm not going to lie. Like you killed. So.
That's good.
Stay tuned for our next week's episode, you guys. If you made it to this point in this episode, then I'll tell you our next week's episode is about voting. It's a voting year. It's an election year. I mean, there's voting every year, but this year's a big election year, presidential election. So we are doing a whole episode about voting. And yeah, you'll be getting to hear me talk a lot in that episode. So get ready. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's
Let us know if you guys like this. Like, let us know if you want more forensic science stuff, because I feel like that was probably to you very base level, but to me that was a lot of info. So I'm like, I'm sure there's more.
Yeah,
Surely
there is.
more.
I don't know if I know much about it, but I can figure stuff out.
Or we can just go down, I don't know, some different avenue that you are really familiar with. I feel like listening to the crime podcast is funny because it's like you've heard of CODIS, you've heard, rigor mortis is, but that's about it from the crime podcasts.
Yeah.
So this was a nice background that I don't feel like I ever had before. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, if you enjoyed, again, let us know. Go ahead and message us on Instagram. That's like the best way that we'll see your message. So it's at We Run On Coffee. And of course, you can also request episode topics from us or ask us for advice. Any of those things. Any of those things that you do on your regular favorite podcast, you can do here too, okay? We can be your regular favorite podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our podcast, like on Apple. I think that's a thing, is like downloading episodes or subscribing. Yes. I don't know. And leave us a review. If you're feeling super nice today, leave us a nice, pretty little review on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen, because that's also very helpful to us. And, you can help us grow.
Yeah.
So all that to say, thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next week. And with that, I'm Erica.
And I'm Marissa. And we run on coffee. Bye.
Bye.